little carts, you know, to wheel themselves around. They find it in their legs. They can't help it. It's no fault of theirs.
Right.
So that's many of them that stay here. And you know, time takes its toll, and that's all there is to it. But you have to look at it realistically. You can't live with your children.
Sure.
They go to work, whatever it is. An aging parent left home all alone by themselves. It'll be a worry to the family. So over here, they have a place where to meet.
Right.
They meet here too.
A picture
They
of
also can
Grandpa
meet
and
in
my
the
mom together.
community center,
Being
where
in
they
the
all
old
gather
house.
there, and it costs you $1 for lunch.
Right.
That's like a contribution
From
for $1
Ellis
for lunch. They feel like you give a fairly good job.
Right, left and orange.
There's dancing there. They have dancing in the afternoon there.
Right.
In the morning they have classes. You can kind of.
Great.
I can just hit record and
Cool.
okay.
That's nice.
Types of classes of live. Well, you wanted to go to the pool this evening.
Well, I didn't want to leave them alone.
Don't worry, I
It's
didn't
not
get lost. Don't worry. I would have
there. I
got
know,
lost.
you had enough people there.
Enough people there. But you see, the bus rides, they have, you pay for them. But I'm reluctant to go with these, but I went with a film already. You pay more for the use of the bus than you do for what they give you.
Yeah, let's see
But
what the way
it's
it goes.
convenient, you can't go yourself downtown. I used to go, impossible.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
wanna.
go on the subway anymore.
The women are frightened of the subway.
Doesn't play. You don't look for trouble.
That's right.
Take some water or anything?
No thanks.
No.
So we're gonna have a grill Nat session
Where?
right here, right now.
Where?
Not necessarily grilled, question,
Just question.
interview.
What?
We're gonna interview Nat. We're gonna pretend that this is entertainment tonight, and we're gonna interview Nathan
Well,
Interview, what do you want to know?
about the aches and pains of life. Just kidding.
You're the only one who wants to listen to it. Nobody else wants to listen to it.
that's true.
You know, the two women get together, if you sit down with two women, what the
That's all
conversation,
they talk.
talk about,
Very annoying.
you get me so, I said, you know, my horses fell down the week before, I can't lift them up. My hair, I have to go to the hairdresser. What's the hairdresser got to do with your horses?
These women, they're downstairs, they really gossip. If I didn't go to the wire, I couldn't take it.
Uh-huh.
So
I
why
don't,
don't you go
every
there?
day, no, 2.5 blocks over. We go every day.
That's
They
great.
have activity, social action, they have yoga, dancing, different. Oh, your grandfather could run a class too.
I heard he
Good
did.
talker, he did, last week. He's
On-
very good,
Yeah,
very capable.
he is. He's got a great mind.
Yeah.
I'll get a
He
couple.
has a good mind and he can talk.
Now, how about, because you can help us here, it's Mary, right?
Well, they,
No.
I was married
Elsie.
60 years, and I went in the hospital, my husband died next to me, that's finished. I was in shock for 2 days at least. I didn't have a drop of water. And then I wouldn't stay in the house for nothing. I was by my daughter 10 days, by my 2 sons 5 days each. When they called me here, they got an apartment, I took it.
Hmm.
And I gave the key to a agent, Greek agent. He sold the house pretty good. It wasn't good condition, only 35 years. Because we had another house before that on 192nd, 35th Avenue. 15 years, and the city took that, not only my house, all around. They took it for a school. That's when we bought this one.
Now, Nat, how about you? Let's just recount everything. Where were you born?
And why?
I was born, we just had it born a lot. I was born in Sullivan.
You know where.
I know what.
You don't know where you were born.
Yeah, City in New York. I forgot it a long time ago. Maybe there's something right up there. I think it was whatever was that? I was born on the Lower East Side, that I know.
Now, how about your family?
What about
Your father was Abraham,
what's his name?
and your mother's name
Sarah.
Sarah, and they came from Russia with their village.
No, my father came before. You have to understand, my father's family, you have to understand this way. My father was a soldier in Russia. See,
Abraham.
His people came here before the 20th century. They came before the 20th century. Us came later on.
I came in 1920.
See, your grandfather, he what do you call it, great-grandfather?
What? No,
Great-grandfather.
Okay.
How he managed to get out of there,
Years.
he told us the horrors of the days there.
Under the Caesar.
Under Tsar.
They're all gone.
But he said he got out of there. You know what, every time times get rough there,
I have memories.
the Kazakhs would come down
when I came
into the towns, the shet, what they call shet, small villages,
What?
raid the
Cossacks.
villages,
We came.
steal and plunder.
Took us 4 months to get here. We traveled.
When the plunder was hard,
Right.
my father said he's not going to
Like you
he's not
say,
going to wait.
Serbia,
He's a soldier for
they
that
were
time.
no
They
different.
forced it.
They were never
Those days,
any good,
they would grab you and put you. There wasn't a case of like over here prescription.
In
They
Romania,
saw
we
it, husky
had to
young
go
men.
to get our
He went in.
affidavits.
Those who were able to read and
Those
write,
Jewish
we
people were
already
not
gave
as
them a
yet,
Bible.
but after
We
you
trained the others. But there was no schools for the others.
Nice family.
So when he came
Two
from,
sisters, 5
he went to
brothers.
Argentina,
The
from Argentina.
cousins were my age.
He went to
more
England
or less.
twice.
Some went to
From England, he
Paris
didn't care
High
for much
School
day. He
and
went to
college.
Argentina.
And they
He was
used
going
to
to stay
write
there,
to
but his
me.
people stopped writing the
Till
village
what
when he was there. We were all in the city of
All
New York. So
One,
he came to stay.
one cousin
He
I
came here.
have
He
in
met my,
Canada.
he met my mother in New York City and got
The
married.
Holocaust, she married and she
He had
has
4
a
sons
boy.
by her.
He's married with 2
Say it again.
He had 4 sons.
That's all.
Your
Now,
Abraham
I'm
did?
getting too
He was
old
Yeah.
to travel
He died
far.
there.
I could, but I don't
Married
want
my mother.
I
He
go
had
to
4
the children.
sons. Later on, when she
That's
died, having the youngest one, the youngest son. His child.
So you're the youngest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest?
My brother Al, he passed away.
So your your 3 brothers are who again?
No, you have to wait. There's 5 of us.
Okay.
My father remarried later on, but
Okay.
sometime later on, some years later.
Now, did his first wife pass away?
Oh yeah, she died of childbirth.
Okay.
That was those days. They didn't. Those are days of medical exam. The medical profession know very little about these.
Right.
Today, we should have been saved, but in those years, only the survival of the fittest.
So Abraham basically came over on his own. Now, was he married when he left Russia or not?
No, he married in the United
He
States.
married in the United States. Okay.
He met my mother in the United States.
And what was her name again?
Sarah.
Sarah. That's right.
He met her here.
I'm sorry.
He married her.
Okay. So Sarah and Abraham, and they have 3 children,
More they had.
4 children,
4 sons.
and Sarah passes away during childbirth, and he remarries
Later on, some years later,
and had,
one boy.
okay.
This-
And who were the first 4 brothers?
Who?
The first 4 under the first marriage,
Myself, I was the first.
right?
My brother Alexander
Alex.
was second up there.
Okay.
Henry was the third.
Okay.
Henry. Steve Severs, his name was Steve.
Uh-huh.
He was the 4th.
Okay.
He died of a heart attack.
Okay. And then the 5th now,
The 5th brother, he married this woman some years later.
Uh-huh.
She had a son by him. His name was David.
okay.
David.
Now, how many are still living now?
Well, the 3 Al is dead, and Steve is dead. There's 2 of them passed away already.
Okay.
There's only 3 left.
So the youngest is still alive, and then the,
The son's still alive. Henry is alive.
okay.
I'm alive.
Now where's Henry live?
He lives up in Great Neck. Not
Okay.
Not too far from here.
And where's David live?
He lives up in New Hampshire.
Okay.
He has a a farm there.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that, just,
Now, how about, all right, so you came to New York, you were born
I
here,
bought the city
and
we
you've lived here your whole life,
Mostly sure.
Okay.
I traveled, but this is where I was born.
okay? Now, let me see if I can go through this. Tell me, like, did you, so Abraham lived how long before he passed away with you? Like, he raised you all the way up to 20 years old? How old?
No, he raised him. What, I don't get you.
I mean, Abraham was alive and was able to raise you with
Oh, yeah,
his
he raised
second
him.
wife.
He died at the age of 64.
Okay, he died at 64, okay.
But those days, 64 was an old man.
Right,
In his time.
right, okay. And what was his formal schooling or his skills, his training in Abraham?
Straight.
Well, what he got was, what he learned was what he learned in Russia.
Okay,
That's the schooling.
As
You
a-
have to understand something.
okay,
Let me give you a background, some background. You see what it is? When the Jews settled in these European countries, they brought their schools with them.
right,
That was something unknown to the Europeans. The Europeans never, really, the only ones who went to had an education was the wealthy.
right,
Under the Jewish rules, that the school went with them. Every male had to support the school. Because unfortunately, the women didn't get the education, but the boys must attend them schools. They learned the language of the country they're in, so they're able to get around. They knew the rudiments of mathematics and other things, reading and writing.
uh-huh,
When they went into these places, there was no school. The school system came from them.
uh-huh,
They the rulers learned that the education of their people was a valuable asset, but they didn't have it until later on in life.
right,
That's what he learned. And when they took them in the army, they used to make them train the other men. They could not read nor write. My father told them they should tie ribbons around the men of the Russian men. This is your right leg. This is your left leg. This is your right arm. They didn't know it. That's the only way we were able to teach him.
Now, so his trade was a soldier?
He didn't like to be out here. He was forced.
Right,
They didn't go around like conscript.
uh-huh,
They grabbed you off the street.
right,
That's all there was to it. There's nothing more to be said about it. Not him alone, but sometimes also out in Europe.
right.
So that's what happened. He got out. They got away from them.
So, what kind of job did he have
He had
in the
no.
United States?
No, he had none.
He didn't have,
Had no trade of any kind.
so was his wife,
Are you writing that down?
I'm,
Yeah, it's
This-
filming.
Because my grandson got from me when I came here, the whole business. He has it on tape.
Uh-huh.
When he was in college, and he got an A+ for it. So
Oh.
he has the tape. Now I want him to send that tape to my granddaughter who lives in Montana. I just got a letter that
Uh-huh.
quick. She writes everything. They moved to Montana from Alaska.
hmm,
And it took a long time with 2 children. She's teaching and he's a professor and she's besides that, she's a guidance, what do you call it?
guidance counselor?
No, more than, no, she teaches people how to talk again, what do you
Oh.
call it?
Speech therapist?
That's what she is, yeah. She
Yes.
has 2 positions. And they moved back there, took a week and a half with 2 kids, her husband, and the other car was in back of their car. A big job, they moved back. They
Wow.
prefer, she writes that there's no sun in Alaska, the children were not happy there, and she wasn't happy there with her husband because it's dull, it's dark all winter, it's hard.
Yeah, I
to
bet.
live up there.
It's hard,
Montana's
psychological,
better
right,
because he has some of his family there.
right.
The children have somebody, cousins to be with. so they prefer that.
Now, you're both speaking. I heard quickly. It was very short though. That you were talking about the Holocaust and how that affected your family.
Yes,
But now, Grandpa, your he came over around the turn of the century,
Yeah,
Abraham,
yeah.
1900, and so he was in the United States
Yeah, I was there.
during that time.
Yeah, my father was there.
It'd be an interesting question to see how the different perspectives of how the Holocaust affected you.
Well, affected all of us, because we had no knowledge of it until it happened. We didn't think that would occur in a country like Germany. It might have, but it did happen there. That was the saddest part of all the nations that happened in that nation at that time. But people were fearing it already. But with the Nazis, there were a group of men.
they were brutal.
There were a group of men that he wanted to have it surrounded. And they carried out his wishes because he himself couldn't carry it out, but they carried it for him. Not the stigma on the general people, but they couldn't. Those who despised him, he killed off his officers, make sure that there's no rebellion among them. He killed off quite a number of them. The new officers they had came from the Nazi youngsters. They were even taught in their schools that way. It was a horrible thing to do in the 20th. But it came in the 20th century. Not them alone. Homosexuals were also cremated, as well as gypsies, as well as those who disagreed with him. They killed them too. They killed about 5 million other people besides what happened to the Jewish people.
Yes.
There were about 21 million all told were killed. It was a horrible fact remains that throughout the countries that these men traveled to, left a signature behind them that people up there don't forget them for that. That's what the trial is about. When the slaves fought against them, now when the followers did, a lot of them were Muslims, they settled up in what they call it up in Serbia now, the name doesn't press their mind. They occupied quite a bit of land. The Serbs want to get them out, but they're not very gentle about it either.
Right.
You know,
I want to tell you, I came here in 1920,
Mm-hmm.
so the Romanians marched in just like Hitler. I'm from Hungary. And when they came in, my grandfather told my mother to go for the children. And my mother, my sister, brother, and me, we came. My oldest brother was 18 at that time, and he had to be in the army. So that took us 2 more years after we were here to get him here. Through my aunt in Budapest, who worked as a modiste, and her, what's the big shots, the general's wife. We had to borrow money to get him out. We sent a lot of money to get my brother here. It was tough already.
Mm.
My mother had a nice big family, and she didn't want to come here, but when that happened, that they marched in, and we couldn't even go to my grandparents. My younger brother was 2 years younger than me. We went to my grandparents after school. You couldn't talk, you couldn't do nothing. They were very, very cruel.
Mm.
I remember that.
Yeah.
My godfather's from Hungary.
Hmm?
My godfather is from Hungary.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Beautiful place. I remember it more than ever from my old age. I remember I have pictures from the whole family. They used to send us pictures every time we corresponded after we got here, but we weren't that well off to take anybody here,
Right.
and it went too fast when it happened.
So, yes, thank you. Yes.
What else do you want to know?
Yeah, I want to know, 1929, you must have been about 30, 26, 27?
Yeah, about that age.
And the Great Depression happened,
Oh,
right?
yes.
And you were a policeman at that
Well,
time.
I'll tell you, we had a discussion about what period of your life that changed your whole life, the events. I was working that time, the Haven Hartford Railroad, with another young man. The diesel engines were coming in, you see. We were air conditioning it. The air conditioning was something new, which this other fellow and myself, we had knowledge of, because we went to I graduated trade school.
So did you go to high school? Or was it no high school? In a sense, as we
I
understand
went
it.
to Julia Richmond in Manhattan.
You went to high school?
Yeah, I
Okay,
lived in
you did.
Yorkville.
Yeah. And Nathan, did you?
No, I went to a trade school.
So after seventh, I mean, like, you went to elementary school, right?
That was compulsory.
Right.
Everybody had to go to.
Then there was intermediate school.
No, you had the intermediate school that was called the high school.
Okay, so went to elementary and high school.
I didn't go to high school. I went to a trade school.
Okay, and
So
how?
after I left the elementary school, you have to understand. My father had the four sons, at that time it didn't. When my mother had passed away. This is the second wife. I went. Yes, there was already five boys already. So 7 people in the family. I went to a trade school, and my brother who passed away, he went to a trade school also. He became a plumber by trade.
Okay.
I became a metal worker. I took up air conditioning, which I'm glad I did, because I was paid well, and I kept working on it.
So, let me see here. You were born in 1906,
06. Yeah.
right? And so you are going to leave elementary school at about 12 years of age, or 1918, or
I forgot.
how many years did you spend in elementary school?
Until I graduated, so how can I tell you? Usually it was 4 years or so.
All right. Well, how old were you when you went into trade school?
Oh, I guess 13, 14. I forget.
Okay, so 14 years old. Okay, I see.
14,
All right. And how long did you spend in trade school?
Over a year.
Just 1 year.
That's all we needed.
Okay, so at about 16 years old, you were unleashed on New York City,
Yeah.
and so that's going to put us. Let's put us about 1923.
Before 1923, I was working already in the building line.
Okay, right.
I was working.
And then.
Why? Because America was booming there. They needed skilled labor. America was booming. The high-rise buildings the office buildings were coming up like mushrooms.
Okay.
So they needed labor. Those who graduated from trade schools had the background. They had geometry, algebra, and all these things needed for that type of work. My brother became a plumber, and he moved there later on to California with his family after the war.
And who was president then?
Who?
Who was the president when you?
Got me. I don't remember who was president, but I don't know who the bubblehead was.
Which one
Go
was it?
ahead.
I don't know. When he asks me questions, I don't know.
Get it. Come on. Just make it easy.
All right, so we'll keep going because I want to.
Wasn't Roosevelt?
No. Roosevelt came. He came 1933 or something.
All right, so tell us about events that led up to the Great Depression that you saw, like both of you saw.
Yes.
That would happen. Well, she saw it different ways. I was working, as I said before. The supervisor is a pretty decent chap.
Right.
He said to us, another fellow and myself, he says, you see what? We both belong to a union. The union has struck against the railroads. They lost the strike, but it cost them a fortune. They had to later on it became reunionized again. Railroads accepted it. So
They had to rehire a whole bunch of people.
the railroads took the unions back.
Right.
So we went to work for the railroads. He said to us, fellas, let's get the New York and Haven is being sold to the Grand Central. The roundhouse was in the Bronx Center. I lived in the Bronx. They're going to close it down. So I said, they won't need that. So we went down to the municipal building, and two of us, and we asked him if we got any applications for mechanics. He says, no, we haven't got any, but that time, Whalen was commissioner that time. Well, who was, I forgot who, I think Hoover was president at that time. I don't think it Hoover was, Roosevelt came after Hoover. So he said, I got applications for patrolmen. So I said, all right, brilliant. I took it and I filled it out and I sent it, and I forgot all about it because I went back, I found a place to work, another sheet metal place. Sure enough, sometime later, I don't know how long later on, I got notified to come down for the examination. I went down there, I was young, healthy and strong. It was doing jumping, this and all kinds of things. Next thing, swimming and all that. The next thing I know, I was notified to come down for a written test. I should have. Written test didn't require too much. Today they're pretty rough, but not those days. I passed that, and later on I got notified at the beginning of the year to come in and be sworn. I told my father, I said, he says there's no work to be had. My father was not even working. There was no work to be had. So this was a steady job, you know. It was steady, too steady. There was no, you're stuck. I was stuck with it. The 4 years, President Roosevelt said you're a member of the armed forces, you remain there. So anyway, I remained there for 21 years with them.
Right, because World War I was just,
yeah,
right.
Then 54, I said, I told you, your grandmother was passed away. I said, I'm leaving it. I'm tired of the pension, which I earned. I said, but there's no Social Security. You see, Social Security was passed in 36, but not for any employees who were getting a pension. Those who were not having a pension put money into what's called Social Security. But I told her, I said, what happens? You can't. If I leave and no Social Security, I'll go out the outside web and I'll lay my Social Security. I'm paying for it. Then Truman became president, and when he said that there's no reason why employees of private or city or state government who are a pension, if they pay into it, there's no reason why they shouldn't be entitled to Social Security.
Right.
And they pay it. Naturally, I was ready to pay it. I was working there for that time for the industry, the union. So I have no regrets. I quit there. Went to work. I went back to work in the industry again.
Now, before we hear from Elsie, why did you have to stop doing your job as a air conditioning person? Was there not enough work that you?
Well,
No, because the railroad.
Now,
I told you,
because you were trained in the field of air conditioning at the
Yeah.
trade school, but then you went into the railroad business.
oh, I was right. I went to it for the railroad. The railroad. I told you a few minutes ago. The supervisor told me that the Oakland Haven was being sold to Grand Central. The Grand Central.
Uh-huh.
The Grand Central were going to close the place down.
Okay.
They didn't need that roundhouse. They
Okay.
had their own.
Right.
Maybe look for another job.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. It was sold to someone else and didn't get another job. All right.
The
Understood.
guy on tape, what it was.
No, I didn't catch the point, so, but I do understand now.
That's what it was.
I'll go to Elsie now.
What do you want to ask me?
Oh, tell me about the events that you saw that led up to the Great Depression.
Well, that's when I got married.
That was the-
That's right. My husband was a butcher. He always could make a living to eat, but he didn't have much.
Right.
He used to pack packages to give our neighbors
Uh-huh.
food. It wasn't easy.
I know it wasn't easy.
Okay.
Rough times those days.
Okay. Now, Nathan, how about,
Well,
all right, you got your job as a policeman, and there's a couple stories that I want that if Jennifer and I plan to have a family, and I'd love for them to hear these stories.
what stories you want to know?
Okay, I think there's 4 stories I wanted to hear.
Well, tell me.
Okay, the first story was the story about the time that you went up on the roof of this building to pull a no, it wasn't iron, it was
No, I know.
bronze overhang to keep it from falling off. The second,
In the bathroom.
the second story is the story about the loneliness when you found that man who had died because of the
Oh,
loneliness. Okay. The
I-
third story was the story of what was happening to the Jewish boys whenever they would walk to school and how the other young men were stopping them.
yeah.
And I think the fourth story, I'll remember it, but let's go back and start with the story about when you were up on this roof.
Oh, that was kind of, I was in the emergency service division. That's an armored department. There was an armored truck, it was not really an armored truck, in case of riots and this, but we were also there for the purposes of doing the work that let's say, people would get, sometimes run over by, jump in front of trains, you had to take their bodies out, jack up these. We got a call, I think, I've got the street now, I forgot, it was a 10-story building that a copper Cornish it was a very windy, stormy day, was swinging freely, broke loose from his holdings and was swinging back and forth in the street. They were afraid if it comes out, pedestrians walking along, would come down, would kill these people. Whoever would be there. So we went
I
there.
missed her. I don't know where she is.
What can I do for you?
But she was sitting there, so I couldn't see her.
So
know where she
we
went.
went there. There was a crew of 5 of us. We went up there. We lashed the Cornish, and all of a sudden a heavy, strong wind came along and it pulled us all together. There was, you know, these standpipes, the silver standpipes that stand above the roof. The rope caught on there. When it did, it saved us from going overboard.
Oh yeah?
Into the street.
Okay.
Because otherwise we'd be pulled down. We had tightened the rope around, you know. So we pulled it up and we tightened the wind. Well,
Okay. Tell me the story about when you you shared with the group about that the other day. You were telling me about the gentleman you had found who, until 3 days later, did not call the police about.
You see, I was working at Amsterdam Avenue. There was the rundown apartment house. They lived, 2 of them were seamen. They lived on the ground floor. They retired. They were elderly couple, 2 men. So I got acquainted with them. I used to, they had a hobby. If you saw one, you saw the other. They were standing outside all the time and talking. Their main activities was playing checkers, walking, talking, give groups around them, or they would play cards, whatever they do. But this time, I walked by and only saw, I didn't see the other. I saw him alone. But of course, that was a few days, sometime later. So they called me over. I said, yes, wait a minute. He says, I think something's wrong with my friend inside. I walked into the room, and he was sitting on an armchair. I took him